Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Hi, welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
All right, hello, and welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast. Yeah.
You're not allowed to sexy whisper in that bunny outfit. It's sending mixed signals.
Oh, is that sexy? No, it's so creepy.
I can't.
You want to touch this bunny outfit?
I want you to put the egg costume back on. I never thought I'd say that.
No, well, this fucking bunny outfit's amazing. What are you talking about? That egg costume's amazing. It's just a little dirty.
And this one's a little dirty for a different reason, sex bunny.
This one should not be. I only wore this one time, and then I put it right back on the rack. This should be clean AF.
It does look clean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But who knows?
Give you 30 minutes.
It probably smells like mothballs.
Okay, let's see here. Going through some of the emails that we got here today. We were putting a spotlight on Hollywood, Florida. I like those little stories about the town that they might have, because I think every little town in America has a unique story. Even the smallest towns in America have those interesting little stories.
We were really cooking with Wellington.
Yeah, Wellington, we got a lot of good stuff. We only really got the John Walsh thing that kind of kicked the whole thing off.
And the KVJ demise story.
Again, for the 39,000th time.
Yeah.
You have to laugh so you don't cry.
Agreed.
And I don't know that there's necessarily anybody in Hollywood other than us that ever talks about that story.
I will say, I don't think we ever told the diner, all of us kind of going into our own vices story.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was all we had at that time.
That was all we had, was hash browns.
Hash browns and broken promises.
Well, it was such a great diner, but then it started kind of ruining it for me.
The diner's done.
Because it's nothing but a heartache in that diner.
I will never step foot in that fucking place.
There's an Eagles song called Heartache Cafe. That's what that was. That became Heartache Cafe.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of cafes are sad.
No, it's called Sad Cafe. That's the name of the song. Yeah, you're right. They're all sad.
Why are cafes so sad? A lot of them really are. Let me see some of the questions that we got here today. Yes, the one on Hollywood stories. This from Colleen. She said, pretty sure the story from the movie Bully with the late Brad Renfro happened in Hollywood. A group of teenagers murdered the best friend of one of them they considered to be a bully.
That movie is so messed up. They always would run that movie and another movie called Kids on HBO, and they're kind of disturbing movie. I think it's the same director who did both of them. I
watched just a little bit of Kids, and I'm like, I can't. I turned that one off.
Kids fucked me up, man.
I did. I pwned it pretty quick. I'm like, what? And I'm like, gone.
The ending was it's terrible. The ending is nothing but terrible.
I never even watched it.
If you want to have a terrible feeling in the pit of your stomach for a good hour and 45 minutes, watch Kids.
Yeah.
Come watch my Kids. You'll have the same feeling.
That's momedy right there. That's good. That's
momedy.
That's good momedy.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So if you have any other Hollywood stories, you can let us know. And if you've got one for your town, that's how I'm going to decide it. If I got some towns loaded up, whatever's got the best stories. So give me the stories in advance. Because I'm like, Hollywood, give us your stories. And then crickets. And I'm like, well, either nobody's listening in Hollywood or nobody gave us a story or just nothing's ever happened in Hollywood other than the Adam Walsh story.
I can give you a ton of shit from Lake Park. A ton. Does anyone give a fuck about Lake Park other than me?
I'm going to Lake Park today when I leave here.
Cool.
I have to go to my favorite fabric store, which is in Lake Park. They're having a huge Veterans Day sale.
Gosh, how old? Did you just turn 95 right now on the air?
That did sound so lame.
So old. Yeah. So old and lame. And then right after 2:45 p.m., you're going to have your dinner.
All early bird. There's a place in Tequesta called Time to Eat Diner, and all the old people roll in there about 4:45.
Oh, that sounds so sad.
Again, sad cafe.
Sad
Time
cafe.
to Eat Diner. Oh,
So sad.
I'll tell you what could be real sad is a Piccadilly. Go in there, look around. It can be fucked up. People just eating and dying at the same time.
you're right. Piccadilly is sad.
Sad,
Yes.
man.
It's sad. You gotta wonder. I mean, is people age into that? Are they still going to keep going, or does Piccadilly just eventually shut down because all their clients are dead?
That's a great question. You're right. Would we go to Piccadilly when we get to a certain age, or is it just Piccadilly is going to die off like the customers?
I think I set foot in there, didn't fully realize what it was. I think I was looking for booze at the time too. And I walked in there. I'm like, what is this
You
place?
derelict.
I'm like, this is so gross. And I walked right out. That was the only time, because there used to be one over close to my house on Palm Beach Lakes near I-95 that shut down, and now it's like maybe it's the MD Now or something.
I
don't even
remember
know.
that Piccadilly.
Yeah,
We used to
I
call it
walked
the
in there.
Sickadilly.
I think I was ravaging for booze. For some reason, I thought, like, they clearly don't have alcohol in here.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I remember that Piccadilly, man. Ooh, I don't know, dog.
My favorite thing that was when you walk up with your tray, they all say the same thing. Serve you. Serve you. As you go down the line.
Oh, really?
That's what they say.
There was
So now in my house, I say that all the time. Serve you.
There was one like that in Lake Park. It was my mom and Ann would call it the smorgasbord, and like, we're going to the smorgasbord. Oh, they got new fried chicken we got to try, and it was a big fucking deal. If we were all going to the smorgasbord, my dad would never go. It was always Ann.
Your dad was a smart man.
He wouldn't go to the Piccadilly either.
A lot of dads check out.
Yeah,
And now
he's
you
like
guys go that way.
smorgasbord.
My dad checked out too.
But it was
I
like,
think they just get sick of the shit.
But it was one
Yeah.
of those cafes where everything was mass produced, so cheap. You'd find hair in the food. You still powered through it.
The smorgasbord had hair in the food?
You're lucky that's all it had. You're lucky if you
That's
didn't get a
rough.
little RL, a little roach leg.
A roach leg.
Lake Park, bro. So if you want those stories, Kevin, I got them.
Yeah. Okay.
Roach leg tails.
We will eventually get to your town. We'll hopefully
Look,
get to all of them.
Lake Park comes with some murderous stories as well.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Been some murders there?
There has been. One that ended with a knock on the door at the Pennington house. Teased you. When we do Lake Park, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you killed somebody?
We didn't, but the person who came to our door did.
The murderer knocked once?
Person of interest, yes. She was involved in the murder that happened.
Damn.
Came to the Pennington household.
Wow. Okay. All right, you got me hooked.
All right, good.
Got me hooked. Gotta know. We got a couple of emails. One about the weather. One of our listeners from up in Long Island talking about how warm it's been up there. And it is kind of crazy. Everything's just kind of off. I can't believe how humid it is here. Again, yesterday we are into the second week of November, which I always boast is like that's when all of a sudden the humidity's gone. It ain't gone yet because
No, it was muggy.
muggy, steamy, nasty. And Stephanie said, yeah, I heard you talking about the humidity down there. And it's above 65 going to 70 the last week here on Long Island.
Wow.
It's not normal. We have our winter coats on usually, at least ready to put on. But, yeah, I think last week Virginia was talking about her grandma from Massapequa, where I live. And she was talking about the Friendlies. I live 5 minutes away, and it's still there.
Okay.
Look
A
at
few
that.
left on Long Island.
I think they're going to be closing it soon, right? Didn't they say all the
I
friendlies
think they were. Yeah, I think they were going out a biz.
I would fuck up some Friendlies right now. Oh, they have good fries there. I love their finger foods.
They just have a fun environment too. I mean, it just makes me think of like happy family
There's
times.
cakes and ice creams galore.
Whenever you have that much ice cream right next to that much food, like it's just they're doing both things right.
Yeah. And the thing that I saw, of course, you know, they were saying that tropical weather that we got, that rain, that deluge.
From Etta.
Yeah, they said again. They're saying that's your climate. It's a changing. So, you know, it may have to readjust. Where I used to say, hey, the second week in November, we get rid of the humidity. I don't know. Are we ever going to get to a time in South Florida where we just don't lose the humidity? And how would you feel if, let's say in January, it was like, it's still muggy and it's January, it's February, it's still muggy. And it was like year-round summer.
Year-round mugs.
Year-round summer.
It's sort of like that. I mean, I grew up here my entire life, barring the couple of years I went to college up in northern Florida. We had cold Christmases. We had cool Halloweens. But do you guys notice now, from January to about even May, into May, we're having very nice weather here in Florida. I'm not saying it gets cold, but it's nice weather. It's cool.
Yeah, it seems to at least shifted, and that's the question. Is it just shifting in time, or does it mean that it's gobbling up both sides of it so that it stays hotter longer and then gets hotter sooner down here in South Florida? And I think that's the question. And yeah, not just in New York, but Susie's like, yeah, I saw it was warm in Ohio. They were in the 70s. I mean, as a kid growing up, I remember one time, I think, when I was in Kansas City, and it was 98, and it was, you didn't have to have a jacket on, and it really stood out to me, and it was close to Thanksgiving. I'm like, wow, this is nuts that it was like this. But it's typically pretty cold.
I remember one year there was icicles on the trees outside in December. I was like, oh my gosh, that's snow. And Anne told me, no, it's not snow. It's just frost. You haven't seen snow yet. I'm like, oh, all right.
And that's the year the joy was taken out of Christmas.
One of the years, Virginia.
Yeah. John from BNT is in the chat room. Impact Windows and Doors, and I was thinking about this the other day because I just got my doors put in. They're fantastic.
They look beautiful.
Yeah, they're really nice. I didn't even realize what was so eerie was the first time I closed the door and it was like the house was vacuum sealed. I'm like, whoa, that was so.
You're like, wow, I'm actually safe.
That's awesome.
It was just, I didn't realize how much noise and who knows what else was getting through that door before.
Rats.
Yep.
Bugs.
I don't even know, but it was like in silence. I'm like, oh my, it's almost eerily too, like I need to play a soundtrack of the street because that's what I'm used to is outdoor noise, and it's so quiet in my house. I'm like, where'd all the noise go?
I know. It's crazy quiet.
When I had that rat problem at the one townhouse, when they came in there to the rat people, they let me know. They said, look, you have a place that needs to be covered. It's not covered.
Sealed.
It's not sealed at all. They go, anything from the outside at any point can come in here. And I lay in bed thinking, oh my gosh, there's going to be a fucking opossum in my kitchen.
Flying lizard.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, where we're going with the storms and everything, my house was built in 87, I think, and so I didn't have any storm windows or doors on. I've added all those and just completed with BNT. I really think that very soon, the way the weather is getting and the storms we're getting, we have a record-breaking year in 2020. It's going to be like legally you're going to have that. I'm sure under new building codes, those things are.
Right.
But think of a house built in 87 where they may have to start going around and saying, we got to figure out how we can get storm windows and doors and things like that for these people. Because, you think about what happened to some of those older homes that had happened in the Gulf there that just kept getting hit time and time again, where you're like, this house it's not sustainable anymore.
Yeah. Under
the current climate that we've got, and if it just keeps every year is a record-breaking year, we can't have these homes here because they're just not safe for people anymore.
We'll talk, because I've been in the house game for a minute looking for something, and I've looked at the newer houses, I've looked at the older houses. I love the style of the older houses. The yellow one that I was looking at, the
butter
house, it was made in the 60s. Early 60s, and it looked like it was it just looked like shit could get in the window without a key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were coming in. Old houses like that, to your point, if you really look down at the detail, there was a little crack here, a little hole there that you didn't notice right away.
The houses shift, and it's really weird to think about, but I just bought my house, 6 years ago, and I had every wall painted, every ceiling painted. Like, we had every inch of that house freshly done. So it was completely fresh when we moved in. There are so many cracks and shifts. And I can look and see, oh my gosh, my house has shifted. It looks like, I don't know, a quarter of an inch.
What year is it built in? 1990. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's that old.
It's not, but still, it is.
But think about how old that is, though. Yeah. That shit's old.
Well, I graduated from high school in 91. So.
You're old?
And just think about how improved building and construction is.
Right.
And now they have to. I mean, now they're going back to the drawing board and saying, okay, guys, we built to this standard in 87. It was good then. It ain't good now.
Right.
That was 87. I would have fucking done the Highland Fling if it was
The what?
the Highland Fling. I don't know.
Was it 1887?
Mine was from the 60s. I'm like, holy shit. They were burning bras in this bitch.
So interesting stuff with the weather. I got a couple more emails here. One talking a little bit about the COVID stuff. Nicole T said, again from the OR at Mount Sinai, I just wanted to let you know that I belly laugh every time you mention Kevin's bitch-ass lungs.
It's BALs.
He does have them BALs.
Yeah, I do. I really do. BAL is an actual lung procedure where the administrator administrate saline into the lungs for analysis.
Oh, there's a procedure called a BAL?
Yeah.
And it's on lungs.
Bronchoalveolar lavage, BAL, is a procedure that is sometimes done during a bronchoscopy.
Okay.
That's up your alley.
I'm sure you've had that.
Yeah, it's used to collect a sample from the lungs for testing.
Oh, they've definitely
geez.
tested your bitch-ass lungs.
Yeah.
Do you think when you left the doctors, as you left the doctors were going, man, that guy had some fucking bitch-ass lungs.
No, they told me to my face. They didn't.
Oh, ironically, your bitch-ass lungs, your BALs had a BAL.
Yeah, they did all that stuff. Yeah, no, they showed me the X-rays of my lungs, and they're like, "Yeah, you've got some bitch ass lungs." That was
Really?
It.
So
Yeah.
is it that they're
Birth
smaller
defect.
or they?
No, they said that I have polyps basically on my lungs, like a birth defect. And he said, think of a balloon. You know when a balloon sometimes gets that weird, weak-looking place in it that it's about ready to give way in that spot.
Yes.
And my lungs have that. And so I haven't had an episode for a while, but what had happened at the time, I had done a guy in a kung fu thing came down, big dude with an elbow on my chest, and it basically let all the air out of my lungs.
Deflated your balloon.
Is this Sensei, the Sensei from Logan?
This was in college. I was taking Taekwondo in college. I was a freshman at Ohio University. And so in the class it happened. I was getting ready for a tournament that we had coming up. And he hit it. One of my lungs went down 100%, and the other one then just was like, "Hey, I'll do it too." And so it went down. It went down to 30%.
Oh.
Did it feel just like complete death for you?
Well, I was in the shower, weird thing, and it just dropped me. Yeah, because you couldn't breathe, and you're just like, you don't know what's going on. So I was crawling back to the room. And they
Were
found
you
me.
naked?
I had a towel around me, but that
How
was
embarrassing.
it. And yeah,
Bitch-ass lungs, and your dick is out?
Were your balls wet?
I hadn't gotten into. Yeah, maybe they were. I'm trying to remember if I actually had gotten into the shower. I think maybe I was in the shower when that happened, and I was just struggling. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm not going to make it. And so, luckily, some guys from the dorm, because I was turning purple, they scooped me up, and threw me in the car, and drove me over to the hospital.
Damn.
And they had they brought me to the emergency room, and the guy had basically like a huge ass needle, and he went down. And he goes, poof, like that, right down into my chest, and he's like, "Whoops!" I'm like,
Whoops!
Dr. Whoops is working on you?
Motherfucker, what?
he missed.
He missed? Dr. Whoops missed. That son of a bitch.
He had to do it again. I'm like, no. And then,
What kind of goofy Ohio doctor they bring you to?
dude missed.
Damn it.
So I got two little scars like on my chest where it went in. Yeah, because the first one.
Did he get it the second time?
The second time he got it,
Oh, good.
immediately he was like, you could breathe because the air was pressing down on the lung. So when they got that excess air out, and they put a pump on there that was pumping the air around my lungs so my lungs could reinflate. And
Damn.
yeah, and so they had to do that to get my lungs back up so I could breathe. But then he said, he's like, this is, what you got. He said it's a birth defect, and so
Dr. Oops and nurse. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'd had that happen before. I had one episode here in South Florida, and I was coming back from Publix, and same thing. I was like, hey, so when it happened, you're like, oh crap, because it just dropped me, and I was crawling up the driveway because you just can't. Your air's gone. There's no, you can't breathe.
You had groceries too?
Groceries, yeah.
Were you able
yelled-
to carry the groceries in the house?
Were you getting yelled at? Kevin, get the groceries in.
Kevin, you
Get
dropped the eggs, asshole.
Here's what had happened. This is before Jaybird was even on the show. That's how long ago it was. So I've been
Okay.
fortunate. I haven't had an episode in over 15 years. And we had Todd on the show. Remember Todd, he was a big white dude that talked like he was black. And everybody thought he was a black guy, but they listened to him on the radio. And he loved hip hop and he was into the culture. And so,
Very, very,
Yeah.
a big lover of the whole culture. He wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
No, he loved it. He
really
DJ'd,
loved the culture.
He truly did. And, I'm sure he would like to have a darker pigment. So everything about him,
Yes.
he loved black culture.
He was as white as you, though. He was
And
very pale.
He was. Right? He was from Indiana.
Yes.
With red hair. And so as kind of a joke about that, he had gone to one of those, I think it was like the flea market outlet on 45th Street, and he had bought this like painting, and it was this black family holding up a black baby. And, it was in the process where the Queen and I were, swapping out some furniture, much like we are now. And so we were like, hey, let's put up Todd's painting. And so we did. It was this big, like, canvas of this black family that was hanging up in our living room. And as I finally get to the sofa, and the paramedics come in because they had to come in to help me. And it's these two black guys. And here I am laying on the couch, and I see them both look at each other and look up at that painting and look back and like, because they look around the whole family, and there's not a black person anywhere in our house. And they're like going,
What's going
motherfucker
on?
got this, yeah. And so they looked all like cross-eyed at me. I was like, no, it's appreciation.
My producer,
It's out of love.
He loves your culture.
I'm trying to explain.
and they're like,
two-
whatever.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, let this guy die.
Let's just get out of here.
Yeah. So I do have bitch-ass lungs. So that's it. That's why when the whole,
Who
coronavirus.
called the paramedics at your house when you were crawling up the driveway?
Queen was with me.
Okay.
Yeah, because she had gone in the house. And it just hits you.
Okay.
And it drops you. I mean, when you can't breathe, you just, it'll knock you to your knees.
And she saw you, or she came back out looking for you?
I think, yeah, because I wasn't coming in. She was like, and she, she knows the story and what it is. And so she drugged my ass onto the couch.
How fucked are you if that happens and you're by yourself and in an area you really can't get to
Yeah, I'm
other people? Would you die?
Yeah.
How long if you start feeling that, how long do you have to get to a hospital to where they can help you?
They didn't put time on it. It depends too, because I could feel it. It hasn't happened for a while, thankfully, but you could feel it when it would give way. It would be like, and you get a sharp pain in your chest.
Well, that's when you need to grab your phone and dial 911.
Well, you are. I've had moments, and I think I've even been on the show before, where you're just like, and you just kind of hold on. You're like, okay, how far do we go down? Is it a big one or is it just a little one? And so you kind of, but it hasn't happened for years. I've been blessed. It probably, used to happen relatively frequently. I doubt they healed themselves, but
now
it's
that
just
you're
not something
talking
that
about it,
happens.
it'll probably happen today.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
There
you'd
it
be like,
is. There's that positive
Yeah.
comment you've been looking
What
for.
are the odds?
Kev.
Kevin died yesterday. That whole bitch ass
And
lung thing.
Damn it.
Even the way she said it, she dropped into the key of depression. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die today.
Yeah. When I was when I lost 100 on one side, 70 on the other, they said probably within, and that's why they didn't mess with an incision. They just went right for it because they said you're probably minutes.
Wow.
And, probably less than 5 is what they estimated then.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been done. So, yeah, so that's why I don't go out in the woods.
Can you poke yourself?
That's why you don't go out in the woods. I see. It all makes
Yeah.
sense now.
I try to stay close. How far are we from a hospital?
Well, if you got BALs and bitch ass lungs, you need to stay away from the woods. You need to always be around people.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that the COVID didn't do nothing bad to your bitch ass lungs.
Well, yeah, that's why you just never know. I got bronchitis on top of it that I get, which is a bitch. And so it's one of those things where I'm pretty confident. I know how one day when I go out, how I'm going to go out, what's going to take me. Because, I got a definite weakness. I got a blind spot there.
But luckily, you do have relative youth on your side.
Yeah, that's why
You're
I really,
young.
Yeah.
that's why I really work on, trying to stay healthy.
In 15 years, I don't know.
It's been a while.
You
Let her,
catch that COVID in your 60s. Ugh.
just let her talk and
Yeah.
see how long it takes for her to say some depressing bullshit.
Oh, I know.
It's kind of a fun game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to balance out your fucking outfit.
We need some levity up in this piece. Why am I getting crucified for fucking bringing it? I'm singing for my supper.
So there you go. So that's there's definitely a lot to that. BALs.
Does it, other than the bad moments like you're talking about, does it relatively not bother you too much other than the bronch?
Yeah, no, I don't. And like I said, it's been a long time since I even had a chest pain or felt it. And so I'm living a good life. I've had a good life, whatever I get. So
that's always my fear. If something happens, like for example, if you have a heart attack and then you're okay, and then years after, the time after the heart attack, anytime you have like a little thing in your chest or any kind of a weird, you constantly, because
it does,
It could be gas, and you're like, oh shit.
Exactly.
You don't know. Yeah, it does get your attention. Yeah, you even have sometimes like you go to the gym and you're like, okay, something like my chest, is that the muscle thing or is that my bitch ass lungs?
Well, we have heart problems that run in my family, as I've talked about it before.
You got a bitch ass heart?
I got BAH. That's tough to say, man. It's bad.
I got bad.
I got bad. Bitch ass heart. And what was I talking about?
No idea. No clue.
Yeah, fucking bro. Corones.
I know we sound drunk, but I swear none of us are drinking.
I'm actually kind of bummed out. I don't have a buzz. I feel like today should be a buzzy day.
You look like you should have a buzz.
Yeah. You should be hammered.
Oh, that's what it was. You also have panic disorder in my family. So I've been told panic attacks, bad panic attacks, and heart attacks feel somewhat similar. And I just don't want to, be in my 50s going, oh shit, is it a PA or is it an HA? This thing, I'm backing out.
Bah.
I got that bad.
Get that bad.
Talking about spreading ashes. Karen had a story. She said, I was listening to you guys talking about spreading ashes in unusual places. Made me think of a story from my boss. He's a pilot, owns his own plane. He agreed to take a friend up who needed to spread his uncle's ashes over the Atlantic. So they flew out over the ocean, but when it was time to open the window and spread the ashes blew right back into the plane and got everywhere. Into their mouths, eyes, clothes, everywhere. He said it was an enormous mess. And just like any type of dust, he never really got it completely out of his plane. For months after, every time they'd hit a bump or land, a cloud of dust would just rise up in the plane. He got so used to it, he just say, well, there's old Bob again.
Bob lives on.
Bob lives on. So there you go. Note to self, if you're going to dump ashes out of a plane.
That's hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be cognizant of the wind.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where you are, plane, boat, on a dock, in your garden. Like, be cognizant of the wind if you do that ashes in the air trick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bold move.
It's so bold. Wind will fuck your day.
That would suck to have a mouthful of person ash.
Bob.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful of Bob. Bob's probably laughing. I know I'd be.
I'd be laughing too.
Here's somebody else sent us a photo saying that, I took some of my dad's ashes when he died. I took it to a tattoo parlor and they crushed it up and put it in the ink. My dad was the third generation namesake and he always signed his name then with the 3 Roman numerals for 1.
Oh.
Basically 3 capital I's. I got that tattooed on my wrist. He is always with me now.
That's beautiful.
I
Really
love
great.
it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's how you do a
Yeah.
tattoo.
No kidding.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Love
That's pretty cool. How do you guys feel about having ashes in your home? Does it freak you out at all?
Yes.
It does. Because right now my sister's got my mom and Ann's at her house. It's right in her living room. As soon as you walk in, you see it. And I was talking to somebody about that, and they thought that was so creepy. I go, it's your loved ones. It's not creepy.
I think everybody should make their own choice, but for me, I want to have relatives at the cemetery. I want to be at the cemetery. I want people to go there, leave flowers, have moments, have a place to go. I just like that feeling better. Maybe that's just because that's how I was raised.
Well, that's why I like the idea of getting ashes and then having someone put me in a tree. You could still go visit the tree. It's in nature. It's kind of like the circle of life, man.
Better watch that wind.
Well, I'll be dead. I won't give a fuck. I'm in a tree.
I saw this story today. I'm like, how is this possible? Maybe you can explain, Virginia. It says millions of women in the U.S. don't know where their own vagina is located.
I saw that, and I read that. What was that? The New York Times?
It was one of those.
It made me want to call the New York Times and tell them to stop.
Just stop it.
Just stop publishing. Stop trying to be credible as a news source. Just stop.
Stop trying to make this a thing when it's not a fucking thing.
There's no way that's right, and I'm super annoyed at it.
Researchers found that a quarter of women in the U.S. don't know where their vagina is on their body.
I mean, that makes zero sense to me as a rational, functioning human being. Did we go and find women that are living under a bridge? Did we only talk to ladies in the psych ward? Like, what the fuck kind of survey is this?
Yeah, what kind of surgery is this, Kevin? Well, you have a vagina. I see why you're pissed.
You know where your vagina is. I mean, like 3-year-olds can spot it.
Guys, newspapers, it gets rated. When things get rated, you can't believe a lot of the shit they say. They're trying to get people to go just like you did. What, motherfuckers? I'm gonna call New York and I have a fucking pussy. Like they want that reaction.
Well, they got it because I was like, really?
It said 46% of ladies couldn't point out the cervix, while 59% suggested a different body part when asked to identify the uterus. I assume you know your cervix and your uterus, Virginia?
Yeah, I mean, didn't we all do health class?
The ute's inside.
So's the serve.
Like an air condition in a closet, so to speak.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like the coils.
I've been looking at a lot of air conditions because of the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what do I not understand about women that could be true?
I could see the cervix thing, and maybe you confuse the ovaries for the fallopian tubes and all like that. Okay, I'll give you.
Yes.
But women don't know where their vagina is on the exterior of their body between their legs. Get the fuck out of here.
So what do they think they're peeing out of? Oh, look out! I got a roast beef here. They don't know that's a vagina.
Yeah, that seemed ridiculous and made me mad.
That got me too. I'm over here mad. I'm angry.
Now, when it does work in the whole scheme of things, yes. I mean, so would you qualify that as? Would you say that you pee out of your vagina?
I guess you kind of do.
You do. I mean, come on.
Technically, I think it's your urethra or something.
Right.
Your Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin.
Is that in the Is that in the city limits of Vagina Town?
Yes, I think even.
Are you in the suburbs of Vagina?
You don't get to the suburbs till you get to the taint. The taint is the suburbs.
I was going to say that's the outskirts of the vagina. If you're opening and going into Vagina Town, I think it's town uterus, it's town clit, it's the city of fallopian tube.
City of Clitty.
City. Oh gosh, it's
Clitty
good.
City.
Clitty City, even better. Man, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious what is all in the grouping there.
Yeah, it's all your vagina, I think. It starts at the top of the lip, where the lip begins, and goes to the taint.
I stand with Virginia on this one.
He stands with my vagina.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let me.
Clitty City needs to be on a T-shirt.
It does, but it's kind of filthy, so we can't really wear it out. But it still needs to be on a T-shirt.
Are there like Twitty cities for Conway Twitty?
There's no way Clitty City is not on a shirt.
Clitty City needs to be on a shirt.
Clitty City is an amazing. That needs to be a song. I'm going to Clitty City.
Anybody have that?
Clitty City, people of Walmart. I think it's just pictures.
Don't tell me about Walmart.
I want to see Walmart clit.
I can't.
I think it's just
Honestly,
pictures.
I can't.
Nobody
today.
wants Walmart clit.
No, we can't do that.
No.
I don't know. There's a good value. We always talk about rolling back price. You don't want rolling back clits.
No. I want a high-end
You
clit.
don't roll that back.
I'm going to a good store.
Give me that Nordstrom clit.
Give me that Whole Foods clit.
Give me that Neiman Marcus clit.
Yeah, give me that Bird Hines. Give me whatever, or Macy's.
Bird Hines is closed. It's been closed for 15 years.
It's high end for me.
You got that dead clit.
In the chat room, Marion said you don't pee out of your vagina. Jamie said it's a pee hole.
We get it. Guys have a pee hole too, but it's.
That's why I'm just curious. Is it in
But it's
the overall city limits.
It's the vaginal city limits.
But that's what I was saying. If somebody asked me that question, to avoid sounding dumb, be like, "Going, do you pee out of your vagina?" Would the answer truly be yes, or would it be like, "Well, no, not really"?
Technically, the answer is no.
Okay, I'm just curious what that answer is.
Layman's
hard
terms.
yes, hard no.
For people talking in a bar, yes, you pee from your V.
Right.
Just because now, I get that there's scientific terms that, yes, this is the fallopian uterus. Yeah, we get that.
Those two holes are so close to one another that they're really, they're roommates. They're not neighbors. They're roommates.
Okay.
And they're occupying the same dwelling, which is your vag.
Okay, well, it says here there are two openings in the vulva. So I think the vulva is the overall. It's the state of vulva, and it's the cities of vagina and urethra, and they are separate. The vaginal opening and the opening to the urethra, the hole you pee out of. The urethral opening is a tiny hole you pee out of located just below your clitoris. That's Clitty City. And the vaginal opening is right below your urethral opening.
What was that thing you said? The Adventures of Vulva? What was the very first thing you said?
The state of vulva. So the overall thing, the whole area is called the vulva, and then the vagina and the urethra are two separate cities within the state of vulva.
I hear you, but in layman terms, most women would say that the whole package is the vagina.
I stand
From
with
the
her.
taint to the clit.
And I think this is where the New York Times or whatever gotcha, is because they went into the specifics and they were asking these kind of questions, and they're just saying that a quarter of women didn't really know what was what. They didn't know it was vulva, then vagina and urethra as separate things.
All right, maybe they did get me.
They got me too. I'm in a state of confusion and a state of vulva. Tell me state of vulva does not sound like a new Netflix show about politics. Doesn't it?
It does. It's hosted by Wolf Blitzer, and he's the one thing I do not want by my vulva.
You don't want a wolf around that
No.
thing?
Wolf, get the fuck out of here.
You don't want him out there howling around?
He's too furry.
Yeah.
Well, he's a wolf.
Okay, well, there you go. So
Oh, I have a new song to write today.
You have like 6 new songs.
Clitty City.
Clitty City.
I mean, Clitty City sounds a little country.
Wolf is in my vagina.
That can be your own. I don't want to take that from you.
yes.
You're kind of dressed like a giant vagina.
I'm just like a giant
gotta
vulva.
You are Clitty City.
Here's the clit. Here's the fallopian
It's
tubes.
got eyes.
The tubes right here.
No, your legs. Your legs.
What a horrifying movie. The
Are the
clits have-
fallopian tubes.
Fallopian. We got vulva. We got clit.
The clits have eyes.
Then it's a good Kevin.
It's a horror movie.
I love it. I think my nose would be the clit, right?
Would it be possible? I mean, imagine if your vagina had eyes. Do you? I mean, would that
would
be
be tough.
horrifying
It'd be tough to go
do
down.
some sex acts? Yeah.
Well, I wonder if I grew up with vagina having eyes, would it be that weird?
But then would you close your eyes, or it's kind of like kissing, or do you keep them? Because
I don't know.
you can't keep your eyes open, right?
I like eye contact sometimes during sex, but romantic kisses, I like to have my eyes closed. So am I romantically kissing that thing, or am I, full
I
gorilla?
think you're romancing the vag. That's
And if
another
she's
movie.
farsighted down there, does that make your penis look bigger?
How many movies can we come up with that has to do with women's body parts?
A lot.
The clits have eyes.
I mean-
romancing the vagina. We got a lot of them.
Man,
here.
now I can't think. I got vagina on the brain.
And the body.
How long has it been?
Kevin, how many times do I have to answer this question?
I don't know.
Go back and listen to your own fucking questions 3 weeks ago when you
I
asked
forgot.
me. Well, then you need to pay attention.
I want to hear it from Clitty City.
No, Clitty City is shutting it down.
So if you get the new house, the gray house, I think the pool would be a great place to go to Clitty City.
Go to Clitty City. Yeah, but now people don't want to go in people know you're going to Clitty City in the pool.
Yeah.
Always assume Clitty City's going on in the pool.
Yeah, I'd be proud of you. I'd still go in the pool.
Right, chlorine, bro. 2020, chlorine.
You're going to have a pool guy.
Yes, I am. I'm not doing any.
Or girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You
a pool
sexist
girl.
fuck.
A pool girl would be hot. Maybe that's who's Clitty City you explore.
You could do her in the pool and be like, yeah, clean it.
Oh my God, Kevin!
You pig.
What a horrible statement. That reeked of so much evil. That's evil,
Oh,
Kev.
that's evil,
Oh,
Kev.
it's so
It's just
weird.
evil. It's just evil.
That's funny.
So weird.
It's a joke.
I know.
So you have to get a pool guy.
Yes.
You can't have a girl. We decided.
I can't have Clay City clean my pool.
No. You bring the clits
Yeah.
over for fun and entertainment, not for work.
Yeah. There you go.
Hopefully we'll have a clit housewarming party.
Warm clit. All right. It's definitely past time to go. All right, y'all. Thanks for locking in. We will be back tomorrow. Who knows what's coming up then? You guys have a good one. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.